What's up, guys? It's me, it's that ERIC. I am the People's co-host, Eric Barnes, and this is Raw's EBar, so let's get started. So, we start off the show with Stephanie, and then Roman Reigns comes out and cuts what I found to be a lackluster promo. He came out there really just, he's so calm. It seems like whenever he's cutting these promos, like I understand there's like an underlying anger, but let us really see that anger. Like I want him to freak out, yell, scream. I mean, God forbid a wrestler actually yells at somebody else. What's going on with that? Nothing to write home about at all. And then later, we'll kind of just cover the entirety of Roman Reigns' involvement in the night. Later, Roman comes from behind a garage door. Triple H shows up, even though Stephanie said that he wasn't there. We all knew better anyway, but he comes to pick Stephanie up because I guess she's scared. And they're sitting in a vehicle, and the garage door just slowly opens. You can see somebody's legs. He's dressed in black. And then it opens and completely reveals Roman Reigns. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Kind of cool, actually. What doesn't make any sense to me is why, when you see Roman Reigns in front of you, he's walking toward the vehicle. Because afterward, they made quite the quick getaway. So why wouldn't they drive off rather than let him make it all the way to the vehicle and then be like, I'm not even going to lock the doors as he's heading towards us, and then seem upset whenever he opens the door, pulls Triple H out, and they get into a little scuffle. This did absolutely nothing for me as far as my interest for WrestleMania goes. I don't know. It's very lackluster. They basically got 2 SmackDowns in a Raw to make me care about this match, so here's hoping. So, as for the early match with Kevin Owens and AJ Styles, I really, really like this match. I think that they could have a great feud somewhere down the road. The fact that, Jericho coming out and just saying AJ Styles, and yeah, he did get up on the ring apron, but that's 2 times. Basically, the same thing has caused AJ Styles to lose a match from SmackDown and now on Raw. You'd think that AJ would learn to not be distracted or to expect that Jericho was going to do something like this, but KO still gets the win. But it was definitely a really, really good match. I enjoyed it. As far as Kevin Owens and the whole triple threat thing, I thought it was very entertaining. It was a good little swerve from Owens. To come out and replace who you thought was going to be in the match with who he thinks should be in the match. Whenever it ended up being the 7-person ladder match for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania, I'm kind of confused when the Intercontinental Championship became the Money in the Bank, because that's 2 WrestleManias now. That's going to be a multi-man ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. It's interesting. I don't think that the match will be bad, and I do enjoy everybody that's in the match. It's just a little bit more that I think it would have been good to, on the grandest stage of them all, let him show what he could do with him and Sami Zayn. Obviously, they've already had some great matches. I think WrestleMania would have been a great place to showcase that. I understand they're trying to get as many people on the card as possible, but I feel like they really dropped the ball with this. I would honestly, I know it's still very early to be giving predictions, but my prediction would be Owens somehow comes out on top in this match, and then we get Owens Zayn at Extreme Rules. Who knows? But I think that would be interesting from the way that they've got it set up at this point. Okay, so now let's talk about the New Day League of Nations feud. I like this feud, and I think that it's definitely making the League of Nations, giving them a chance to be more interesting. Because they've fallen so flat for so long, basically since their inception. I really haven't found any reason or want to be entertained by these guys. And it's a shame because all four of them are really talented. All four of them have had entertaining runs before. But it just seems like right now, putting them together with basically no promo time and almost no reason for being, which is how they were for a long time, it really didn't do anything for any of the four involved. To be in a stable, you'd think that it's to elevate everybody, and all this did was bring everybody down a level, is what it seems like. But I'm definitely think that the sum of their parts is more entertaining than what we're being given. The only people that I think that can really do this whole pass the mic promo thing as far as a little stable is the New Day. I'm not sure exactly why it works so well for them, other than that they're just inherently very entertaining. But whenever any other group does it, like League of Nations, like, okay, well, it's my turn to say my one scripted line, and it comes off very lame. It's kind of the same with the Social Outcasts. At least, they're trying to do something, but the pass the mic type of promo doesn't exactly work for everybody. And on top of that, League of Nations, from what I've seen, cannot get a win over the New Day. They lost at Roadblock, lost last week at Raw, even though they got in a good beatdown afterwards. And then they lost a singles match on SmackDown, and then they lost this match on Raw. And yes, New Day is cheating to win, but that's the New Day. You know what I mean? This is what I talked about last week. You're still letting the New Day be the New Day, whether or not they're facing a bad guy team or a good guy team. And I think that makes all the difference. I think it's really cool, actually. So I think this match has more potential, but I'm definitely invested. All right, so let's kind of talk about the Wyatts and Dean Ambrose at the same time, since their paths kind of crossed over on Raw. Basically, you had Dean Ambrose, and he was getting the chainsaw earlier in the night from Terry Funk, who used to be Chainsaw Charlie, and that's interesting. It's cool, like the passing the torch type thing. Obviously it started with Mick Foley, and now it led to Terry Funk. Definitely cool, except for I could see Dean Ambrose using Barbie, the barbed wire baseball bat, in his match. I can't see him using a chainsaw against Brock Lesnar because, let's face it, if a chainsaw got taken to Brock Lesnar and you saw blood, it would be the chainsaw bleeding. Then basically we have the Wyatts, and I'm wondering what's going on with them. They've been doing a couple of cryptic tweets the past couple of days, down with the machine or something similar to that. So could it be that the Wyatts are wanting to take down the Authority? It's a good question. Could we see some type of wide involvement between Shane and Undertaker? Could happen, since the Wyatts really don't have anything going on at WrestleMania. I think that it could be interesting. But if they're wanting to take down the Authority, at this point, that would make them faces. If they wait until after WrestleMania, when it's potentially Shane McMahon as an Authority figure, who knows? There's a lot of stuff up in the air, and that definitely makes this time of year interesting. As far as Braun Strowman versus Dean Ambrose, I kind of felt that, I don't know, there's just really not a lot of steam to this match. I get it was supposed to be showing what Dean Ambrose could do against a large opponent, a very strong opponent like Brock Lesnar, but the ending was definitely something that a heel would have done. I mean, Dean Ambrose, rather than take a loss, basically, went out and got a weapon and got himself DQ'd. Okay, so you can use a weapon on a big guy, but you still lost your match? I don't understand. It's like you couldn't beat him without weapons, is basically what it's saying. And I guess it's fair to say that that the WWE doesn't believe that Dean Ambrose could beat Brock Lesnar without weapons. But still, I mean, Braun Strowman isn't exactly Brock Lesnar. And to briefly touch on the Big Show, he's back to being a smiling, pandering jackass, basically. I feel bad for the guy, you know what I mean? He should be in such a better position than he is. I mean, he's a giant. I have never really understood the booking for the Big Show for a very long time, and it's still nonsensical. But anyway, so he comes out basically to advertise that he's going to be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which he won last year, and he just wants to win it again because even though he said that he's the greatest giant of all time, it's not true. He lied because it's Andre. Whatever, I guess. The thing is, leading up to WrestleMania, they always try to make this trophy, this win, seem important. It could have been important if you ever did anything with the winner afterward. I mean, Cesaro was the original winner, did absolutely nothing for Cesaro, and then Big Show won, and it basically didn't do anything for him either. It's an interesting match. I like the sentiment of it, and it's a good way to get a lot of people on the show. But and then Kane returned as well, and he's going to be in the Battle Royal too. So, I mean, I'm glad they're trying to create some interest for it, but you know, it's the Battle Royal. It is what it is. Nobody ever really gets anything after WrestleMania, so who knows? Okay, so I already talked a little bit about AJ, but let's talk a little bit more about the Y2J AJ match, Y2AJ match at WrestleMania. I like it. Every time they've wrestled, it's been a good match. They have the potential to steal the show at WrestleMania. Whether they do or not remains to be seen, but they definitely have that potential. Both terrific competitors. I am invested in this match. I like the build-up so far because even though it's basically just Chris Jericho being jealous, there's been precedent for that. You know what I mean? Like that's a pretty good starting point for a feud, and while it really hasn't caught on fire in a way that I think that it might possibly be able to, it's still entertaining enough at this point. So definitely one of the matches that I am looking forward to at WrestleMania. And then we had a little bit more build to the triple threat match for the Divas Championship with Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte. I like the build up for this. Again, it's not stellar, terrific like WrestleMania season feel, but it's definitely good. I think that Becky and Sasha, whenever they were on commentary, they were very effective in making you really feel their animosity for each other and for Charlotte. I also really enjoyed specifically Becky Lynch's promo last week on SmackDown. I thought it was better than I honestly expected. I'm really enjoying this so far, and I think that they really have the ability to put on one hell of a match at WrestleMania, even though I did originally think that Sasha versus Charlotte would have been better. It just seems like for WrestleMania, they're trying to get as many people on the card as possible, as I said earlier. And a triple threat match between these three will still be terrific, even if I would have preferred a one-on-one match. So definitely one that I am looking forward to. As for the Dudleys and the Usos, let's not forget Golden Truth, because they seem to consistently just be getting beaten down by the Dudleys, and then the Usos basically have to come out and save them. I appreciate that Truth and Goldust have each other's back, but what's going on? Like, lead to something already, because it's just been dragging on and is boring. That's just my opinion. And I like Truth and I like Goldust, but come on. I mean, something needs to progress here. And I know that there has been progression, but it's just so slow. And like I said last week, I don't think it's going to be enough of a payoff once it finally does come. As far as the Usos and the Dudleys, it seems like a foregone conclusion to me that this at WrestleMania would be a tables match, but they still haven't mentioned it, and there's only 2 weeks left until WrestleMania. Seems like that's where they're going. I expect to hear the announcement either on SmackDown or Raw next week. But come on. I mean, nobody just wants to see a normal match between these two teams at WrestleMania. Add something to it. It's tables. It's obviously tables. It's always been tables. So, Devon, get the tables. So last but not least, let's talk about the Deadman and Vince. So Vince came out this week and just straight up called Undertaker his bitch. Wow. That's all I really have to say about that is wow, that's crazy. How can Undertaker be cool with that, man? I mean, this is going too far. But let's look at the stipulations for this match so far. So it's Hell in a Cell. Shane wins, he gets control of Raw. If Shane loses, he's out of Vince's will. And now, if Taker loses, it's his final ever WrestleMania match. So I see a lot of positives for Shane to win the match. You know, he'll get control of Raw. He would, you'd think, not be written out of Vince's will, even though I don't know. That doesn't really make any sense. But I don't understand exactly why Undertaker would want the. I mean, all he has to gain out of this is another WrestleMania match, which you'd think Vince would be the one that wants Undertaker to have another WrestleMania match. I see the positives for Shane. I just don't really see them for the Undertaker. On top of being called Vince's bitch, I mean, makes no sense. On top of everything else, what happened to Shane's secrets? The secret lockbox that he talked about the first night that he came back. He had something to hold over Vince to the point that Vince was like, look, I'll give you control of Monday Night Raws if you can beat the Undertaker. You know what I mean? So it had to be something. And what really could stop Shane from losing to the Undertaker and then just being like, look, I've still got this secret in a lockbox, and do what I say, or I'm going to tell everyone. So they really haven't mentioned that whole part of the scenario since the first week or so, and it's very strange. The booking for this has been just really out there. I think it's let a lot of people down as far as the Undertaker, and then the World Heavyweight Championship match. It's just, what's going on? Could be good matches, but just the build-up, which is important, especially during WrestleMania season, they weren't thinking ahead at all. I mean, yeah, a lot of people got injured, so maybe what they were thinking ahead to, they couldn't do it anymore. But they need a contingency plan or something, because it's not terrific. But I'll still be watching. Anyways, guys, that's all I've got for you this week. So thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. And down in the comments, just let me know what you thought of Raw. Let me know what you think is going to happen at WrestleMania and beyond. I appreciate you taking the time to watch it. I am the People's Co-host, Eric Barnes, and I will see you next week. Hey!